Disclaimer: Chronically Illing Out is a podcast and weekly roundtable discussion that provides a safe space for real chronic illness and mental health conversations by people with lived experience. We are not trained professionals and we do not claim to be. Rather, we discuss our stories and current events to build community and solidarity. Know that you are not alone, and if you are in crisis, call or text 988. Good morning, everyone. Welcome as you start coming on in here on Substack, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're watching us. Good morning. I'm seeing that Substack is being slow and starting to catch up. Good to see everybody. Welcome to Sick of the Shit Publications. I'm Nick Perro, not your dad, joined by my friends Beth Cruz of the Possibilitarians Light. Good morning, Beth.
Good morning.
So of So's World. Pissed at controlling men right now. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Good morning, So-So. Good morning, Beth. How are you both today? How is everyone in the audience? Say hi as you start coming on in. Hit the heart for us. Do all the things.
Do all the things.
Yeah, do all the things. Good morning, everyone.
Do them all. Good morning. Doing good. Happy to be here with you guys this morning.
Same.
How are you, So-So?
Well, I feel irritated, but more, I guess the word would be irritable. Like I'm just like a short fuse. I had a really good weekend, but yesterday I was pretty much in a flare, I could say, because of, doing a lot of work on Saturday. But, and plus, I watched the news, which I shouldn't have done. So I don't know, maybe because I was irritated and I was pissed off, and yeah, it's just I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit yesterday. Maybe you'll allow me to blow off some steam. But
I think that's what we are going to spend some time doing today. Today's a Better Humaning Project Day. So let's talk about some of the shit that's been going on, some of the bad humaning, and maybe we can talk about how we're using, like, what, not only vent, but what do we want to actually do to change things?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we actually doing? Where are we putting our efforts in so that we're not just focused on what we're mad at? Because I think we've all been in a state of mad for so long. And we need to figure out a different state to live in. And so I like the action thing. So, but I do like talking about this topic a lot. If you guys didn't know, I like talking about terrible.
I had no idea. I
like talking about bad humans who do stupid things and
call them out.
Calling them out, because Andrew Tate doesn't need a platform. He needs to be in jail. Folks like that don't need platforms. They need to be in prison. So let's talk about why you're pissed off at controlling men right now, and let your vent out.
Well, actually, I'm sure a lot of people, and I know of course it is talking about politics, but it kind of, I don't know. It's not, I'm more, I guess, I'm somebody who tries to have a joyful attitude, no matter what happened in my life, the shit, whatever. Like I try to, like, I'll be sad or something, and then I'll try to just go through it, then go back and focus on something else and be happy. Like that's what I try to do. Like that's why I read politics, but I try not to get emotional about it. But I guess that's easier for me to do because as you guys know, I'm an emotional sport Canadian. I'm in Canada, not the same. I don't have the same. We don't have the same policies. We're very much more centered on people, and not capitalism, although it is part of our life. So basically, but that one I couldn't let pass. I'm talking about the interview on Saturday that Trump did with that actually came out, like they actually aired it, like how he reacted until the end, like he couldn't face reality.
The tractor interview?
Is it Meet the Press with the
Meet the Press
reporter? Yeah. And how basically I mean, if you want to see it, you just have to go on all of those big names like Aaron. I saw it on Aaron Parnas because he has almost like he's got the whole section where she's asking him a questions and it's about like, and he's like shitting on the fake press talking about Biden, blah 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 blah. But then she kind of like, and he goes on to the fake election, and then she actually presses him on, do you have proof? Do you have proof that and what are I mean. Finally, someone who just confronts him, and doesn't let him, like, there's this, and that. And he's like, and the people are like, yeah, but let's move on to something else, And then she didn't do that. Like, actually, anyways, you really have to go and see it. But then the way he treated her, like, just looking at her as if she was, like, just not an intelligent person. First it started with not wanting to acknowledge the facts, like, and then because he's being cornered, it's like the facts are the election was stolen, blah 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 blah, and then he attacks the press, then he attacks like just the whole bullshit. But just the way that he acts, like you can tell this guy is a narcissistic ass. Like he's manipulating the situation. What he says, he's just trying to basically, I'm in your face, I'm gonna win this argument, you don't have it going. And when it's not going his way, he just ends up like berating her as if she was stupid. And then it's like he just looks at her and it's like, okay, and then like there's she just can't argue, and she's really just trying like, look, da, 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 da. And then he takes off his microphone like all irritated, like I was the victim here, the thing, da, 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 da. And then actually he looks at her and says, okay, fine, darling. And then he, dismisses her. Like, and that's what I mean, like men trying to control him. And I'm not looking at the chat right now because it's just.
No, it's good. I think Naida summed it up really well for us. Is the current occupant is punk ass. And he doesn't treat.
Somebody said in a comment on Aaron Parnas, like, he was especially shitty orange today. Like, he was just like a shit ass. Like,
his orange was a vibrant shade of shit yesterday or the other day. The thing is, like, I appreciate that. I appreciate that some reporters are still trying to do their jobs.
Absolutely.
Like, that's really important. And it's really good to see reporters who are doing their jobs. And it's a shame to see that it's primarily women. And I'm saying it's a shame because men, it's so easy to just ask a fucking follow-up question. Like, just ask the question, why? How?
Yeah.
Why? All you have to be like my son does it. Kids do it. If he's going to act like a child, treat him like he's acting like a child and go to his level and just sit there and just go, why? Don't respond. Why? Men, not the women, because the female presenting reporters, y'all are the ones who are doing it.
Nick, can I ask you a question? Let's say that would have been like just a man reporter. When he gets up and he calls her darling and he just dismisses her as if he was a fucking father figure, like saying, oh, you were bad today. What did you do? No. Come on, darling. That's it. And then he moves up. What would he have said if it was a man? Like just.
He wouldn't have.
I would have thrown my job on the line and said, you're a lying piece of shit. And the world knows that. I mean, no, really. It's time. It's going to take somebody who's willing to risk their career, who's willing to call out everything like she started to do. She was so calm. She handled it very well. And he was just an asshole. But Absolutely. We can't expect this man to be anything but. We just
can't. I was
can't.
so glad that it was caught on recording, though. Like, just the whole sequence, Like, and of course it's going to be buried, under the... Like, I mean, social media, we know now that it's strict. Like, all the algorithms are just, pushing, like, those narratives just to echo, like, wow, he's being framed, look at him, they... Shut up! He's not a victim. He's a predator. And you know what he does? He's just a mob boss. I mean, it's been like that all his life. So many people are just waking up and they're just, like, trying to get the voices out. Like, I'm just
Well, here's the thing. Like, our friend Jai makes a really good, or Jay, I don't know how to say your name properly. I'm sorry, friend. Is that there are men all over that set. All it would have taken, all it takes is 1, 2 of those men just to go, hey, fuck you, dude.
That's
all they would have
inappropriate.
to say. That would have been the appropriate response.
Yep. 100%.
But in the that's because
in the context, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter his office. It doesn't. Jay. Okay, thanks. It doesn't matter.
I'm asking just because in the context of an interview, you know, probably I don't know. We don't know what they did.
At some point, somebody, like you said, somebody has to be able to risk their job to do it, and it can't just be the women who are already risking their jobs to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, because men follow other men. Men don't follow women typically because we're stupid. Because we're stupid and we're trained to do it that way. But men need other male examples of doing it. Men are afraid to take that first step. Guys, permission is granted. Go take the fucking first step. Women have been demanding it for years. Others have been demanding it for years. You see this behavior. If you talk about it and you go, wow, I fucking wish I would have said something.
That quiet piggy.
Say something. Do it. Stop wishing you would do it and just do it.
Just do it. Just
do
it.
Fucking do it. It's not as hard as you think it is. Especially when you do it and then other people are going to respond. Because somebody else in that crowd who was on that set probably also went home and said to themselves, man, I wish I said something.
Yeah. Let's hope there were men that thought that. Let's hope that.
And if there aren't, that's a problem. And if there are, that's a problem too, because you guys need to speak up. We live in a culture where silence towards the aggressor is the approved action and not support for the victim or support for the survivor. It's the whole Epstein saga thing. It's all about that. Is we have to stand up to other men who are bullies. That's all. That's what he is. We boil it down to is Trump is a bully. The Trump regime are filled with bullies. They've never had someone in their life who has meaningly said no to them where they could not get around it.
Right.
Nobody has ever said no to them with a line in stone or a line in bedrock or a line in something that isn't movable and actually stayed with it where it meant something.
Yeah. I have worked with kids who have behavioral problem, especially like, young boys and, especially tweens, when they're getting to that point where they need, often what was it? It was the father was not in the picture and the mom was overwhelmed because they needed a positive authority figure, male authority figure to do some identification, and that's a lifelong process. And most of these kids, I'm saying these boys, when their dad was either like not in the picture or in prison or, like with a lot of behavioral issues, not all of them, but, or maybe that they saw also aggression in the house, when they would just act out. And this is what it is, act out. Like he's just fucking acting out and nobody was able to say that's enough. And reportedly, I don't know if that was true, but when he was a teenager, why he was sent to military school is because he basically punched a teacher.
Well, I want to respond to, I don't know the story about what got him sent there, so I can't really comment on it.
Well, according to Mary Trump's book. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I believe it. Because if Mary Trump has said it about him, it's probably pretty true on her part. I do want to respond to your comment, Naida, because I think that's a really important one, especially in spaces like ours, like in the chronic illness space. And I'm not saying this the comment is, as a woman, I don't want a man to save me. Right. and my comments here are not, men, you need to step up to save the woman. Men, you need to step up because it's the right fucking thing to do. And you need to be there for other men as the example.
Whether you're a man or a woman.
Yeah, whether you're a man or a woman, you need to be doing this regardless.
Yes.
If somebody degraded your best friend who was a male in a similar way, your response would be, hey, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
Or something similar. But
It's
because she isn't he, you respond very differently. To me, it's not about saving women. Women, for the most part, a lot of them can save themselves and are very good at it. It's about just living my values. It's about, I would do it for everyone, so I need to do it. And I'm telling other people too, if the excuse is that if you have the excuse that you're going to do it for your friend but not a stranger, then you're not living your values. You're just selective. You have to do it for everyone. You have to be willing to stand up. And it's not to save her. It's to actually show that men care, that men are doing things that are good humaning. And like that we're trying to be valuable contributors.
Because I wanted to ask Stephanie Hernandez comment. She says, like, I feel that is making excuses for them. What would you really feel about people making these excuses? I'm not sure I understand about excuses, but it's just, excuses are not, I mean, I'm trying to just explain. I mean, you can explain and understand a situation, but it doesn't mean you excuse the behavior. On the contrary, you want to change the behavior because you have to call out what's unacceptable. And living in society, you know, I mean, there are so many reasons you can try, but I'm just saying generally it is proven by science that, you know, men, I mean, I'm saying it's on a general tendency, will tend to act out more aggressivity, and women will tend to internalize aggressivity towards herself. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying that's a general observation, but, you know, of course there'll be individual differences. But in his case, he was just basically acting out all the time. And, you know, nobody was setting limits because obviously, you know, we know the situation with his dad, you know, who was actually encouraging this behavior, like saying, you know, you have to be a killer, whatever. So it's just like, yeah.
So let's talk better humaning.
Yeah, I like that. How should we help them grow? I mean,
so
it starts at a very young age, you know.
And I think it starts with us framing it not also in the, Jay, you make a really good comment, is men need to stop trying to save the day for their own glory. Well, then let's talk about that, because I think that's a really good humaning concept that we can talk about, because it is a problem for a lot of us, and it's men are taught from a young age as boys is protect, defend, and save the day. Like those are the lessons beat into boys, is you go in and save the day and it's glory filled. You get honor at the end. You're going to get the girl. You're going to get the house. You're going to get the money.
That's very American. I don't feel like those are.
Yeah. But for right now, for my context, that the very American problem is everybody else's problem. We're causing a problem for a lot of people around the world because we export fascism.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, like, unfortunately, that is something that is in the American culture, you know. And I'm saying, in the Canadian culture, it is. I mean, you will see this because we're so close, right? So you'll get, I don't want to say contaminated, but, you know, for sure it'll come up, especially with social media. You know, like people are just like the kids and teenagers. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I felt like when I grew up as a kid and as a teenager, you know, the whole, like what you described, like save the day, you know, like the whole, like be a soldier, a good soldier, and, you know, be a hero. Like, I mean, anyway, military was not as present in my life when I was growing up. So.
Yeah. And I think you're lucky because, Naida, you make a good point too. In Latin America, it's in the Central American countries, it's the same. It's a lot of the machismo culture. We need to, we're at a turning point. in my opinion. I think we're at a turning point in society where men are actively losing power structure.
Yes.
And some men don't know how to come to grasp with that, to see that it's not a bad thing, to see that equalizing, if not losing the power structure, is a good thing. And it's okay, because it also would free us from these constraints that we're under of how like small of a masculinity we have to live in and how bad of humaning we have to express, because that's what a lot of people are being taught, and that's what we have to break. It's part of our culture in the States, is this domineering masculinity. And in my opinion, to get away from and to build it, it starts at home. You have to teach your kids to
It does.
treat and see each other as equal and equitable people. Like you have to show that. And some of that can be things along the lines of not using the phrases save the day and you have to do this and you have to protect and defend as your only options, or because protect and defend means you have to jump in and save the day.
Yeah.
But there is also, in terms of better humaning, there's a difference. I think the big important part of this, and I'll get off my soapbox here after this, is we have to teach the boys and our girls in the same way.
Girls.
And everyone in between, everywhere in between. It doesn't matter who you are. We have to teach all of our children that you step in not to save the day, but because it's the morally right thing to do. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then it's done. The difference is in, I think, how do we treat what comes after you step in? What does the reward structure look like? And we treat the reward structure as a domination and competition system. We need to change our reward structure, because people want rewards for doing good things. Everybody does.
Yeah.
And we just need to change how we structure our rewards, because then Pavlov's dog learned off of a clicker and treats. Pavlov too learned off the clicker and the treat. So like, we can make those positive changes and positive social reinforcements. I think that's what we do, is we reframe how we discuss this issue.
I did some good humaning this weekend.
Okay, awesome.
Oh.
I did. I've never done it before. You guys know what I did, but I painted rocks for the first time to put
Let me flip your camera real quick so that it says it forward. And then I'll turn you back to the way you are.
So, there we go. So a couple of the rocks, I decided to paint rocks and with good messages on them. And I'm going to seal them and put them out for people to find. Now, quick story. This is kind of strange.
Beautiful.
I had purchased everything. My little $4 bag of rocks. I already had acrylics. I already had brushes. And I waited to start. And my husband had taken the dogs out. And when he returned, he says, "You're not going to believe this." He went to a place he had never taken the dogs before. And as I'm getting ready to start my first time painting rocks, he had found this. "Allow yourself to shine." And on the back of it, it says, "And the moon said to me, you do not need to be whole in order to shine."
It's really
And I thought it was beautiful. What a simple, beautiful way to just brighten somebody's day. You know, you don't know, somebody's walking, maybe they're troubled or having a hard day, and they've come across something that says, wow, okay. So yeah, something simple. I know it's silly, but I love it. Kindness. It starts with each of us.
I love
just
that.
Being better.
Imagine the little guy who's like, I don't know, I'm saying the little guy or the little girl who's had like a bad day. And even, I'm talking about, it could be just an adult, but I'm just seeing that kids, will tend to keep those rocks, when they find them. So, it's a good messaging. I mean, we're talking about teaching our kids better.
I kept it to, for, kids or adults, so anybody that found it would, maybe get a feel good for a moment. And it's just, you're right, Jessica. It does start in neighborhoods. It starts with making the decision to say hi to your neighbor. Maybe your neighbor's a fucking asshole, but you still say hello.
You leave a rock on his lawn.
maybe you still just be kind, just because you should be. And that, to me, that's better humaning. That's the start right there. All right, I'm off my soapbox now.
No, I think that one's great. Then I'll hand it back. We used to do a cool story about rocks. We used to do this, and the family still does it, as far as I know, or I hope they still do. Is I had a friend in high school years and years and years and years ago now. He died while we were in high school. He got hit by a car, and he was an incredible young man. He would have had a really incredible life. And his parents, part of it is they created like a group out of it to support themselves, and they brought the community together. They brought them around. The young man had a vibrant group of friends, and so the community rallied around. Well, one of the things they did was they created shirts and rocks. They painted rocks with his name on them, and you could get a rock and you could bring it to where you were or where you were traveling. So there are rocks with his name on them put throughout various countries and places around the world for where friends of his have traveled and or lived. And I think the rock thing is really fun because you can put them out there, and maybe someone will find that rock one day, and maybe a person with that name will find that rock and go, wow, this is amazing. I found my rock. And who knows? Maybe we'll liven somebody's day up with that. And I think it does start there, because that's it's a little bit of love that we spread and we continue to do. Like, I still have my shirt from high school from him, remembering him. And I've put a rock or two in different places. And so I think like the rocks are an amazing tribute. And can be really fun.
It's kind. Yeah. It is fun. And it's just a little bright spot of joy. Al found this on a trail in the woods, and
it connects you to people. Like, it connects you, like, for the rocks, for the young man who died, it was all of us who have placed rocks with his name on it are connected to him and connected to each other in a way. Even if we never know each other, even if we didn't like each other when we were younger, even if we did like each other, we're all now connected. And that just brings us a little bit closer in our human experiment. And I think that's the point, is to make us a bigger community, rather than, because humans aren't individualistic animals. We're community driven.
Absolutely. And you know what you're describing, Nick, and what the reason I was also talking about kids is because I did that with my daughter when she was little. She's 17 right now, but I remember like when she was at that age, maybe 7. I mean, still at 10, she'd love to paint those rocks. And what we would do is, back then there was a community, like a public community group, or private, anyways, for our little town. And, we would just like post the picture, of the rocks and say, okay, we're going to spread them through the woods or nearby this playground. So just tell
we have the same.
Yeah. So, I mean,
we have the same. There's
like
a lot of groups.
Yeah.
Which is, again, it's just a fun way, I got 2 more. Hope. And then little you matter. Well, don't worry, be happy. So it's like, I thought I loved doing it. It just allowed me to relax and just focus. And And I thought, you know what? It just was a good feel to be able to know that I'm gonna brighten somebody else's day. And now um oh, yes, Jay. Yes, take them down to the beach. Mhm. Yeah. I just think let's do it. If there's I see a lot of people saying they want to paint rocks. Yeah.
And I said,
Do it.
post
Bring
pictures when
joy.
you're done. Post the pictures of the rocks on Substack.
Scatter kindness. It's free.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And paint you can get at the dollar store. There's acrylic for
You
not
can
very.
even get a Sharpie and leave a message on a rock.
That's true.
I mean, it can be so simple. It doesn't have to Eric. Eric tried to teach his pet rock to sit. That didn't work out so well, huh?
I taught mine to throw, but it doesn't come back.
Well, this weekend I felt like throwing it at the TV. Like if I would have had a rock, I think see, that's the thing. You call out the behavior, but you don't hit the person. Like I couldn't. I mean, I would just like call it to like yeah. Anyways.
Well, getting back to the interview though, and the humaning aspect of it, it still goes what we were talking about. There were plenty of people in the audience of that or in the set. Doesn't matter who they were then. Because on a humaning level, somebody else could have and should have stepped up to be on her side. Not to save her, but to be on her side. Like everyone wants to know that there's someone on their side. Like that someone is with them, not doing it for them, but with them. Like I want to stand next to somebody and be like, hey, I'm just here to help if that's what you need. But I'm not here to jump in your way. She didn't need anybody, in my opinion, she didn't need anybody to save her. She could have used somebody to support her.
Absolutely. Save her.
She was holding her own, but it would have been nice if somebody would have come up and said, that's enough.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable.
Because that's the thing that he'll react to. Social pressure. If he's the only one saying one thing and you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 people telling him, well, you're wrong.
Yeah. And like it also then would have given permission to others to do the same thing. Would have given permission specifically for men right now who need permission and need to see it in big spaces. If you were on that set and you went home and said to yourself, damn it, I wish I'd said something, fucking do it. Doesn't matter if it's the president next time. Doesn't matter who it is. Just do it. If someone's going to treat somebody else like that and degrade them in front of you, stand up for your values. And if your values demand that you say something, then you need to fucking say something.
I would have loved to heard her say, I'm not your darling, asshole. I mean,
really? Yeah, she would have had the full right to say that, as well as somebody in the audience would have just had the right to say, hey, man, or sir, that's not appropriate.
Oh,
you don't talk to people that way. You don't even, the best thing to have said.
Nobody that way.
You don't talk to anybody that way. Take the gender out of it when we're talking about it, because that's part of the problem is we're so fixated on men shouldn't be protecting women. Women don't need men to protect them. You're right. Women don't need us.
Didn't she say something like, I'm not...
We just need to be present. We need to be doing the thing too.
Yeah.
It's too late to say it later.
Yeah.
You have to say it in the moment. It's like the U.S. hockey team. It's like the men on the U.S. hockey team when Kash Patel was in the room.
Oh my God.
And Donald Trump said something on the phone, and there were a group of them who later said, "Oh, I wish I had said something." Well, then fucking say something. What I mean, you can degrade the person without degrading the office.
Yeah. He's doing that on his own
and
anyway.
it doesn't, and The president is just a person. We need to stop putting the president or the office on a title. And yeah, maybe he doesn't deserve the cert. Maybe he just deserves Mr. President. That's inappropriate to say to anyone. And that's all. It's all that's all you have to do is say something. Live your values. Don't just speak your values. Don't just say, I'm going to say something if this happens. Actually do it. When it comes to the chance, it's this whole no one's going to hurt my family. Nobody's going to rape my wife. Nobody's going to rape my kids. I'll step in and I'll do something. Really?
Crickets.
Really?
Crickets.
You will, because all this news about children being raped, and you're doing what? What are you doing? Are you talking about it at home? Are you demanding action and change? Are you, who maybe are a police officer, actually investigating those rape kits that you have left untouched for decades?
That's what's wrong, though. People take the law into their own hands. And I mean, and this is where I'm talking about culture, because I feel safe, in Canada. I mean, I'm not scared that somebody's going to pull out a gun on me. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, like especially in big cities, there'll be like more, I don't know, proximity to people. And so anyways, what I'm saying is that it feels like there is that, isn't there a rule, like if somebody comes onto your property, like when you're in the States, then you can just, protect what's your own? I mean, isn't there a rule?
Well, to a point. If they come in your house, you usually have the right to defend yourself.
Yeah, and in pretty much every state in the U.S., we have what are called castle laws, which mean that your home is your castle and you can defend it however you
Eric.
want.
Castle
doctrine. It's because America has a problem with guns.
We don't have that. Has a problem. Somebody comes into my house, I don't have a gun. Like I'm not gonna just it's like
on property is really state dependent.
That's a culture problem. When people don't feel safe, they feel like they have the need and the right to do this because plus it's a right. Do you know what I mean? Like our right is the Charter of Freedom and Liberty. And you have but also like you have responsibilities. You're responsible. If somebody comes into your house and attacks you, for sure, that person will be prosecuted. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to get into the whole.
I have a gun. I have a concealed carry permit. Do I think it's my right? No, I don't think it's my right as a human to be able to pack a weapon.
Something is fucking wrong when you feel like you need to have a gun because you don't trust your own authorities to protect you from criminals.
Well, that's what happens when the system is designed that way.
As a sexual assault survivor, I'm going to ensure that I'm protected.
Yeah.
The best that I can. And so, yes, I do. But I think there needs to be better rules and regulations. I think there should be a lot of more questions before people are handed a permit, for sure.
This also goes back to the interview and the discussion around better humaning. Part of the reason one of the reasons is we've been indoctrinated into the States through 250 years that everybody needs and deserves and is ordained to have a gun. Like you're the gun and you are a secondary, like the gun is an extension of you is what so many people are taught. And it is a problem. And and part of I won't get distracted for a second. Part of our problem on this is we do need to reframe our entire culture around the idea of guns and get rid of them. But the masculinity issue, or not the humaning issue in all of this is one of the reasons, in my eyes, and this is just my opinion, that people go around with guns all the time is because we have been taught to live in a ultra individualistic or hyper individualistic society where you are not where you are burdened by the task of being reliant on only yourself.
Right.
And that the cure to that is more community, is not you are only self-reliant, but it is you are reliant with and because each other. And if people started stepping up because their morals and their values demanded that they do it. And Naida, I saw your comment earlier that not everyone is brave. You're right, not everyone is. This is also not about bravery.
No.
This is about standing up for your morals and values, and if you truly believe in them. And if you're in a position of privilege to do that, to step up for your values, you have to. It's your obligation. If you're in a position where that stepping up will get you hurt more, don't. Help, reach out. Like it takes courage. There's a difference between courage and bravery, though. It's one of the reasons the Navy uses courage over bravery in their slogan when they talk, is because courage is acting despite that fear. Courage is doing it even with that fear, even with the fears. Bravery is different. Courage is always something that we can all do. We can all be courageous. We're all courageous at different points in our lives. And it's really the small steps of courage where you act your values and your integrity and you hold yourself accountable. That changes. That's what we're asking. Like, it's you hold yourself accountable so you can be a productive member of your community, of society, a healthy person, a healthy whole, contribute a healthy part to the whole of human society. And everyone has courage. You just have to embrace it. And it is very hard. It is scary because it's acting despite the fear. It's acting with the fear. And I think there's just a slight difference between courage and bravery, or there's enough difference between courage and bravery that it's an act of courage, but it's also an act of just living your values. Like we have to. And those of us who have been doing it the least, and this is why I tend to be very careful with my words on this, is those of us who've been doing it the least tend to be cis men, heterosexual cis men. We need to be out there the most, and we need to know that what we're doing isn't glory for us.
Right.
And that's okay.
It's a collective thing, you know. You it's not just a person, it's your better humanity. It's also like it has, you know, it starts with yourself and then it spreads to the others and the group. But the goal is to, you know, to be stronger together. But in order to do that, you know, you can't push that. Do you know what I mean? Like in the values that you're teaching, if you're always putting people against one each. Sorry, I'm really tired.
Gail, you make a really good point. Problem is, a lot of people have bad values. Well, then those of us with good values need to be louder about living them.
And real values.
Our real values.
Like
if we
the ones that are thought not from a dogma that comes from a religion that says, you know, you might say, oh, be good to your neighbor, but then do you know what I mean? But you don't act out on it. It's just like nice words written in a scripture somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just pissed this morning. I'm like, oh,
I think it's partially, it's in my view, religion needs to take a back seat.
Yes.
It's not that I want people to be away from religions. I don't care if you're a practicing faith believer. Don't give a shit.
I don't care if you
I don't give a
worship the
shit.
flying spaghetti monster.
In fact, I hope you do worship the flying spaghetti monster or the infinitesimally small teapot in the sky that orbits between Earth and Mars that you can't see, but you can't prove me wrong that it's not there. So isn't it like God? But anyway, my thing is,
I have to tell you something. Sorry,
okay,
it's just a little story. My husband, okay, we're Gen X, like, so he comes from Europe, and at one point he told, because he was going into school where, I think it was like,
of course you would be, Courtney.
And you know what he said? He told the teacher, who was a brother, like a brother would mean like not a monk, but like somebody in the church. Like, I don't know why he was in that school, but he told him that the Bible was the best bestseller of all times. And he got into so much problem for that.
Best-selling book of fiction ever. My son when he was in kindergarten, well, no, before kindergarten, when he was in preschool, he went to a preschool. Happy Pride. Hey, Jack.
Happy Pride.
Hey, friends. And Courtney, of course, you would be a ordained minister of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Why would you not be?
I'm just disappointed I wasn't aware of this sooner.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't tell us this sooner. Like, come on now.
I feel left
but
out.
A better human good.
Like
to control there. Sorry, go ahead.
My son, when he was in preschool, there was a kid who was in his class, in his preschool with him, talking about, I think it was about Noah or something in the early Bible, and my son was like, "That sounds made up." Just straight up told this kid, and was just like, "It sounds made up." And he made the kid, and we apologized. Like, we were like, we're sorry. Like, he does not mean to be rude. He just doesn't know anything about religion. We haven't taught. We talked to the parents, and they were fine with it. But we were like, he was just like, this doesn't make any sense. This sounds weird. And so, getting off of it, religion should be private. Religion should take a back seat. This is about human values first.
Yeah.
The human condition is our first condition. We are humans above everything else. If you want to have a religion, that's fucking cool with me. Just keep it in the closet like you're demanding gay people. Like, keep it in the closet. Keep your religion in the fucking closet. Because even the Bible says religion is meant to be private. Real faith is practiced privately, and public professions of faith are false. So shut the fuck up with your public professions of faith. Do it privately where you should be doing it, and then take the human condition first. We're humans above everything.
Right now that all these groups, private religious group, are taking over and trying to become like the public schools, which they are not, but I'm just like, for me, that is such a problem. Like, and it's funny, I was talking about that with my 17-year-old this morning in the car driving to school, because she was asking, like, why, would you go to a private religious school that's like almost like 40 kilometers away from your home to supposedly get a better education, and she was just going to the, local high school. But I said that I think that's that's one of my beliefs. So far, we've had, we don't have a perfect education system, but I do believe in our public education system. That's where we should spend our resources, because people, it's not just the minerals that are in the earth. People are resources, human resources. And there was a study that, that said, if you invest more in people, which is like health, and education, then you're going to be a much more thriving society than if you're just, promoting like tech and
war
minerals and energy and, sorry, I'm just.
No, this is really good. I'm hoping people are enjoying this conversation about this, because I think this is is a really fun, to me, this is a really interesting conversation. I like these deep conversations about this. One of the things I think we can touch on, Jay, you said it well, is, but the tenets of most religions are convert and or conquer. I think the tenets of most patriarchal religions are convert and conquer.
Absolutely.
Not all religions are convert and conquer. Most matriarchal, polytheistic style religions are not, I would argue, in a lot of ways. Like Confucianism, even Confucianism and Taoism and things like that, and Buddhism are not specifically convert and conquer in any way.
Well, if you're
Humanism isn't convert and conquer. There are religions of the earth. Most First Nations religions or indigenous peoples' religions are matriarchal, polytheistic, and not conquer and conquest.
And group oriented, right? Because you need
and
others to survive. I mean, if you're living in a forest with a bunch of gatherer hunters, you'll be sharing resources, you'll be protecting each other. You'll be, taking care of your kids together. They'll be raised in I don't know, like not just an individualistic little,
in a community,
tiny nuclear family. It'll be like the whole almost clan will raise the kids. Anyways, maybe that's romanticized, but for me, I do believe that we have a lot of things to learn from other people, not just like saying, "Oh, we're better. Look at us. We're great. We're great. They're not." It's like, shut up. Like,
so you're just you're on fire today.
Sorry. Okay. It's my French, whatever there. Intensity.
I think,
there you go.
Yeah, I like it though, because and Naida, you do make good points. There were many religious institutions up until recently that were better sources of education, and probably still are. It's not.
Did they just shut out 180, take off like 180 religions from our government now that are being recognized? Wasn't it something crazy?
Probably. The thing is,
I think Mormon was one of them.
I think the thing is, like, public schools are also partially a result of our lack of care and what they are right now. And again, it's part of that hyper individualism, is because religious schools saw their power being taken away because public education became fair, equal, and equitable to all children, which meant all children were getting access to education that was not specifically or eventually, and I'm saying nowadays, not when we were in segregation, but now, like in the 90s and early 2000s, when public education was really peaking, we weren't dividing ourselves into our religious groups anymore. The power of the religious schools had basically gone away, and people were heavily invested in improving and funding public education. And now we have taken that funding away. So yes, the education may look better at a religious school in some areas, but they also don't follow the same standards for kids with disabilities.
They don't even have the same standards in the same school districts.
Yeah, they don't have the same standards. They don't have the same equity and equality standards for children. Charter schools are dangerous. And religious schools are also dangerous. And this would be an entire topic of its own, is we need to start talking about religious schools, especially Catholic and Christian religious schools in the US, as indoctrination and weaponization training centers, just the same way that these people talked about Islamic folks and how they radicalize them at these schools of religious education. Well, guess what, Christians in America? Your schools radicalize children. They indoctrinate and they harm but I'm not going to call it a jihad. I'm not going to call you the American Taliban, because I'm not going to promote Islamophobia to discuss Christian nationalism and Jewish nationalism. And we have to do it where we don't bring in the same xenophobia and anti-Semitism as the past. Like, there's been a lot of that going on Substack, is anti-Semitism, and wow.
Yes. Right now it's
like I have been away from, you guys haven't seen me posting as much on Substack because there's a lot of anti-Semitism, and I'm just stepping back from it for a little bit so that I don't get attacked and I don't feel fucking violated all the time like others do. There are people who cannot step back from this ever, and I'm only stepping partially. I'm also working on tools, so it's hard. Yes. And there's been a lot of things that, well, Gail, that also happened in public schools too. And just in general, in the US, we have to reconcile with the genocide and the apartheid that we have and are committing against the indigenous populations in the US. Because we do have an apartheid system in the States and we do not follow the treaties that we have signed. But that's its own topic of conversation. Let's shift ourselves and cool ourselves off. Let's do a little bit of ebbing and flowing. And let's flow into a time of meditation. And
better you need meditation
out of this conversation. Yeah, because meditation is part of a you're right, Derek. Anti-ethno state is bad, is a good.
I'm sorry, what is that? I'm sorry, I feel stupid. What is it?
Being an anti-ethno state, an ethno state is a single group state. So it would be a Jewish only, or a Catholic only, or a Christian only, or a Muslim only, or Islamic only, or even white only, white ethno state. It's what the Germans wanted. It is bad.
Okay.
It's bad. And we don't want ethno states. Being against an ethno state is totally acceptable. Okay. We just need to call it what we're against, and not against Jewish people who are culturally Jewish, or people who are religiously Jewish, who are not involved in any way in what's going on in these things. It's just like you guys in the audience who say, when people say all Christians, you get mad at that, and I understand, because it's not all Christians.
No.
Just be a better human.
Just be a better human, damn it. Yeah.
Damn it.
And let's use our words well.
Yes.
And instead of having to fight this battle of word nuance between, you're trying to distinguish between anti-Zionist and anti-Semite, just use the easier word of, I don't want an ethno state. Why not? Why not use the intentional word of no ethno state? Take the conflicting and the triggering words out of it, and just talk about it what it actually is. Let's talk about the real problems, because words mean things, and when we use the right words, they mean really important things. And I'm going to say that until I die. Until I die, as words have meaning. If we use them right, they have a lot of meaning. So it's more powerful to say you don't want an ethno state than you're anti-Zionist. Okay? Anti-Zionist could mean a lot of things. So maybe I'm just using, and Derek, I'm just using the conversation we're hearing here as an example. I appreciate what you're saying, and thank you for the feedback, because I know you are being nuanced, and you are trying to be a constructive part of this conversation. So thank you so much. And you've been here a long time with us. So Derek, I think you understand that I was just trying to build on that example that you were helping give. Don't be the oppressor. Don't use the language of the oppressor.
go. That's all. It's all
Use
about
the real words. Don't be,
attacking people.
yeah.
Stop
So
attacking people.
let's ebb and flow. Let's flow. Let's ebb away from this conversation and flow into our meditation.
We'll be
so that
back
we
in a
can have a
moment.
great day. We'll be back in a couple minutes, y'all. Take some deep breaths with us and
Stay
enjoy
with
the
us.
meditation. Stay with us for the next 3 minutes, and we'll be back on the other side.
Keep your eyes open. Welcome to our ebb and flow meditation. Join me by taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly exhale out through your mouth. Take another deep breath in and slowly exhale out. One more deep breath in and slowly exhale out. I invite you to take a virtual walk on a sandy beach. Imagine your feet in the soft sand and feeling the warm sun on your skin. As you walk, the rhythmic ebb and flow of the tide give two quiet gifts: calm as the waves caress the shoreline, and release as the tide goes out. Relax further with every gentle wave that comes in, and release any stress, worry, or tension as the tide flows out. Nature has a way of quieting the noise, easing anxiety, restoring clarity, and offering the beauty we sometimes forget to look for. Beauty is always in reach. Whether you find colorful shells on the beach, smell the salty, fresh air, or perhaps you hear the seagulls calling into the wind. The beach is a delight for our senses. Even the marine life appears on the shores in assorted colors, shapes, and sizes. It is a perfect retreat for calming the mind and soothing the soul. Take one more deep breath in and slowly exhale out. As you enjoy this remaining moment of pause, you may take this walk again at any time you need a moment of stillness.
I love that. All right.
Thank you.
So, because you ended it with a sand dollar, cool story about sand dollars before we get into our promoting ourselves is the year that my grandfather died when I was young. I think I was 4 or 5 at the time. The year he died, we had gone to the beach and found a ton of sand dollars, whole sand dollars. And then since then, we've been collecting them or finding them. So I have some sand dollars in my house. But I have a tattoo on my back with 2 hands with a sand dollar and it catching sand, and then 2 hands underneath catching the sand that's going through for my grandparents.
That's amazing.
Because of the sand dollar.
That's beautiful.
So that brought that up for me.
Love it.
So with that, hey y'all, come support us here. Come support Sick of This Shit Publications. But before I promote myself, I'm going to hand it over to Soso here. Soso, promote yourself.
Well, I'm not very good at promoting myself, so I'm glad to be part of this community of Chronically Healing Out. And as I've said before, if you caught the beginning, I like to spread joy, or so I try to share the joy that I feel. So I do a lot of I do photography. I will share, sorry, I'm just like, I do Time for Life with Beth, which unfortunately we've had to cancel, and it was my fault the last 2 Wednesdays because I had, but I had like family. That's the thing. It's hard for me to promote myself because I'm not here every day, like on Substack, like as I know that you, Nick, are so active, and it's great. You're such a good, plus you're an amazing human. So, but yeah, so Time for Life on every Wednesday at 12 Eastern, where we discuss what brings people joy. So that's it. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Thank you for,
Thanks, Lisa.
I just appreciate you guys so much. And everyone who's in the chat right now. I know that you're all participating. You're all, I'm here for the people, I think.
Yes. I do appreciate it. I'm here for the people too. Beth, this is my fault because I'm looking back and seeing if I can find the image. Beth said she sent it to me. Beth, promote yourself, please.
I am the Possibilitarian's Light. I keep trying to believe at almost 58 years old that all things are possible. I have to keep believing that it's all possible to be wonderful. I appreciate all of you being here. I love being on Chronically Illing Out and missing Steph today. Hi, Steph. I'm currently working on chapter 4 of my memoir, which I hope to have released this week. And I'm with So on Wednesdays, and we are really just trying to bring joy to others. I'm getting a little better at this, Nick, so please join me and follow. Regular subscriber, I love you. I love paid subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Come join me in my journey.
Thanks, Beth. You are getting better at it.
The
first times you were not comfortable doing it.
It's now hard. It is hard. It's hard to say, hey, out of all the people out there, choose me. It's just hard for me to say that. But I'm finding I'm my voice, and I feel like I'm worthy. I'm worthy.
You have a lot of things to say just because of who you are. Like, I think that we're talking about better humaning. There you go. People have the value because they're humans, not because of everything they do all the time.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. And I think the
my doorbell.
Your dog bell agrees too.
Or dog bell.
Your dog bell agrees too. And then come support me here at Sick of the Shit Publications. Help me continue to build this. And help me grow our community and get a bigger spotlight on our community and help us bring visibility where I can, so I can do my part and bring visibility where I can to others, because that's what it's about, is helping others. And that's our experiment here, is the Better Humaning Project, and becoming better ourselves, but also encouraging others to follow with us and giving examples for others to be able to follow along with, and being okay that we're trying to do that. Figuring out that that's just what we need to do. So come join me here at Sick of the Shit Publications. Paid or free subscriber does not matter. Either help. Paid really do help. We're building out some really cool tools that come with all of this stuff, and getting really close to being able to demo them or put out product demos for people be able to come and be a part of the tool system. So help support that, support the growth of it, support the growth of Chronically Illing Out. And just an announcement for everyone who does follow is Notes of the Week is on hiatus for a little while. Walter is taking a summer vacation for a little while to spend time with his family, and he's picked up some on the ground stuff with one of the local campaigns. So he's going to be spending more time doing campaign work and supporting there. So we will be pausing our Tuesday show. We will be back in the fall. Just a hiatus. It is not a removal. We're just going on break for a little while, friends. So no Tuesday Notes of the Week. But everything else is still going on. Not intelligent masculinity, which may get renamed at some point, but we haven't decided it yet. We've Banner and Backbone is still going forward. All of the things are working. So just wanted to give you all a quick heads up that one small hiatus for the summer. So on Tuesdays we will not be doing notes of the week for a little while.
Nick, I have a
no
question.
weekly artwork.
Is the Better Humaning project or something that exists? Like, is that a real like group right now? Is that a registered trademark or?
I don't know.
The Better
I think it should be
project.
I love it.
It might be. If it's not, maybe it's something that we can look into getting and maybe
let's copyright it right away. Just kidding.
Yeah. And Courtney, I'll figure out a way maybe to do like a shortened version of Notes of the Week or something while Walter's gone, and maybe figure out if somebody wants to jump in as a temporary, just like fill in for a little bit.
This is the artwork now, Courtney. That's all you get.
And that way we can continue with the artwork and continue with our notes and our discussions, because we've had really great conversations on there. But it is just a hiatus too, so it'll be back in the fall. Walter just needed some time, and so
doing work on the ground too, I mean, is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
supporting a campaign is
yes,
that's how you get involved, right? One of those ways to get involved is go volunteer for your for a local campaign, and that's what he did. And so I'm glad him. I'm glad he is. So thanks everyone for being here with us. That was a bit long for our normal outro, but that's okay. So thanks everyone for being here with us. We will be back for Chronically Illing Out next week. And as we always like to say at the end of our shows, is we're done being sick of this shit here, and now we're doing the shit. So let's have a great week, y'all. We'll see you next week. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Love to you all.
Thank you.
Love to you all.